All the jealousy I caused you. Mistakes the reason why I'm trying to hide. As for all the things you taught me, it sends my future into clearer dimensions. You never know how much you hurt me. Stay a minute, can't you see that I wanna fall from the stars straight into your arms? I feel you, I hope you comprehend. Too many hearts are broken. A lover's promise never came with a maybe. So many words I left unspoken. The silent voices are driving me crazy. After all the pain you caused me, making up could never be your intention.
I hope you put yourself on mute,
Never
please.
know how much you hurt me. Stay, can't you see that
2911. Can you put yourself on mute, please?
I wanna fall from the stars straight into your arms? I feel you, I hope you comprehend that I wanna fall from the stars straight into your arms. I feel you, I hope you comprehend.
Give me some tissue, Tyler. Sometimes it feels cold and you feel all alone, but hold on, better days are coming. It can be rough in this world. I know it ain't easy, but hang on in there.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the Motivator Show. Alongside, it's Lady Chelsea. Oh, that way, is it? Lady Chelsea.
Good morning.
How are you? Good morning, Lady Chelsea.
I'm good.
Oh, how are you,
good.
huh? Oh, I like the
good.
tasty coffee cup.
Oh, thank you. I was a bit late today. My breakfast.
Okay. Let's get the show on the road, shall we? Let's get the show on the road. First of all, let's give praise to the Iron King. I've got to remind you, takes us from night to day. The Iron King, thank you. Yeah? For your dedication. Thank you. Okay. As important, of course, Lady Chelsea, is to honor and respect Galaxy management.
Yeah.
I want to record and give praise and respect to Chief Akambabai, the founder and leader of Galaxy Radio. Yeah? More than 30 years of dedication to the community. We say thank you, Chief Akambabai. Thank you, of course, to Elder Erekute, Abu Ratata, and of course the Solutions Empress Shanice. I give praise to them. Yeah? I give praise to them. I give praise, of course, to Nickel, the most loyal of pilots who've been here for the entire time. Nickel? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. More than 30 years dedication. So we can have a platform that's wholly our platform. We regulate the platform. And we're able to communicate positive messages to the community. I say to the Galaxy management and all those who support Galaxy, I say unto you, praise Jah, Rastafari, and long may you stay strong and healthy. Yeah? Praise be, praise be. I think it's so important to give praise to them because these are people who would not normally gain the public recognition. But I want to make sure they receive that public recognition because we all can make a difference. Praise be, praise be. And of course, what I should also remember is that we honor our ancestors, but equally, we honor our elders. So I want to give a big shout out for Elder Norma. Okay, I know she's listening. Okay, she's up early. Well, she's up early, I tell you. Huh? And mine is vigorous, rolling, you know? Okay, because she can remember Britain from the 40s. Can you imagine having a memory back to 1940s, Lady Chelsea? When you were twinkling in someone's eye? Huh?
Not even.
Not even, huh? Oh my gosh. 1940s. She can remember Britain in the 50s, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the 20s, till today. Someone with that length of memory is a powerful person in our community. But they can offer such insights, such thoughtful sensitivity, genuine wisdom. Because much of what we're going through now, they would have seen time and time again. And our response, and other people's response, the outcomes. And they can advise what is the best course for the next generation. So we don't have to make same mistakes again and again and again and again and again. That's the advantage of those who are elders. They're so interested in the propagation and the upliftment of the next generation. Because through the next generation they live. Okay? And we all learn from each successive generations. We can go places. We are going places, but there are many like Elder Norma listening to the show right now, okay, and expressing opinions to their sons and daughters, to their cousins and nephews and nieces. Yeah, you're making sure the key messages that we want to communicate are disseminated across the community. Yeah, that's why I give honor and praise and respect to Elder Norma and all the elders who've graciously given them their listening ear today. Thank
Yeah.
you. We appreciate you. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
But of course, let me now move on to the usual messages.
Yeah.
Usual messages has to do with ourselves. Huh? We uplift ourselves. Deliberate steps we seek to uplift ourselves and ensure good general health.
Yeah.
I asked listeners to consider these health messages. How much sugar do you put in your teas and coffees?
I don't put sugar in.
There you go.
It's in my tea. In tea.
I
don't have coffee often. So.
Okay. Very important, huh? Because it has a cumulative impact. Not over 1 year, not over 10 years, but over a series of decades, yeah? And that impact is invariably not positive. Yeah. Some bodies sustain it and are able to ride all the negative impact of sugar consumed over a long period of time or have anybody. But there are far too many people whose bodies fail. And so, of course, diabetes is a big one in our community. And I've said on previous programs, I'll repeat it. Professor Hilary Beckles, the Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, gave a really good lecture on the epidemic of diabetes, particularly of African peoples in the Caribbean. But most certainly this is prevalent both in the Americas, United States, and here in Europe, where we're exposed to sugary foods in abundance.
Yeah.
The numbers of people with diabetes is abnormally high. And that's because we haven't considered the long-term impact of sugar in our diet and its effects on our bodies. I say to you all, please consider the effects of sugar on your bodies over a long period of time. It may only be a small amount of sugar you're taking in, a spoonful or 2 or 3, but what about those fizzy drinks, yeah? What about those cakes, yeah? You're laughing. I know, we've got to give up cake. No, you don't have to give up cake. Eat these things in moderation. Yeah? So, for example, I'll put, I have to admit, when I was younger, I had a sweet tooth. And, I put a bit of sugar in my tea, or my coffee, once every 3 months.
Oh, okay.
I've trained myself.
Right.
I can reward myself after 3 months. And I'll put 2 spoons of sugar in, just for the flavoring. Not that I need it. Remember, it's psychological, because we build up this dependency as children. Yeah, it's psychological. And the whole point of these health messages to you, that you build up mental resilience, the strength to resist, a habit that you form as children. That's why those companies like to target children. And you have sweet shops aimed at children. Because when you become addicted to sugar, you'll continue to eat it and earn those companies billions of pounds over those decades. They have absolutely no regard, I say again, no regard for your health.
Yeah.
Okay? It's only in more recent times that government now impose a sugar tax on these sugary foods. Yeah? So that the sugar tax, he says, goes directly into the National Health Service to treat you because you've been addicted and you've been damaged by sugar. So they are beginning to pay. I suspect they're not paying enough.
Yeah.
The heartache, the damage it's causing to people's lives, I suspect whatever sugar tax we're taking from them is not enough. It should be much higher. Yeah. Sugary foods should be seen as equivalent to almost like cigarettes. I know. But we are in transition. Yeah. If you observe the behavior of doctors or nutritionists, you'll find that they have similar habits themselves. They will curtail excessive amount, and I've mentioned sugar, of salt. And salt is very often hidden in our diet, you don't realize it's there. Actually, it is there. I've been training myself over years to reduce the amount of salt in my foods. Yeah. And of course, I don't eat those packets of those potato things, which I will not give the name to. Not call the name, don't call the name. I reduced the amount that I consume significantly over time. Not take it out of my diet completely, because that's foolish, I believe, but significantly reduce the amount of salty items in my diet. I feel stronger for it. I feel more invigorated for it. Yeah. Honestly, my body's not having to digest and filter out all these poisons, because that's what they are essentially. Excessive amount of sugar and salt are poisons to your body, so you have to excrete it somehow. But your body's going through a lot of work, and that work takes energy. That energy drains you. Yeah, it drains you. Yeah, that's why it's good to listen to the health professional, to the nutritionist, because they're so interested. It's your best health. Unless you can tell me there's one that you've not found that was not the case, okay? Then we should get their regulatory body onto them. But that's what they're trained to do. Salt, sugar. Okay. Another one is fat. I gave you the laugh about the shop and the big white stuff. And the meat costs, what's that? 10, 2, 3 pounds a kilo. And what? The fat costs the same amount because you weigh it with the fat. Then after they weighed it and they've said that how much it will cost, they then take, would you like to take the fat off for you, sir? And they're taking the fat off. Yeah, but you've already paid for it. But it's going right into the bin.
Yeah.
In some cases, you have to take the fat off. And you take it home with the fat on. And some people, of course, will cook with the fat still in place. And those very well-to-do chefs will say, "Oh no, keep the fat in. It's good for the flavour." You know? It's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's
No regard to your long-term health. Yeah. Sugar, salt, fats which come in many guises, most certainly in meat, and most certainly in a lot of these pre-prepared meals. Okay. Another big killer of us, is carbohydrate. It's flour, wheat, excessive amount of this stuff. Okay. What does your body do? It converts it into energy. In other words, it stores the energy inside your body. Just like the fat, it's stored around your organs. And over time, your body can survive for a while. But over time, your body, as you get older, your body's less resistance. And that's why as you get older, you have these multiple conditions, because you've been building up towards it for years, for decades. To avoid it, reduce the amount of poisons you're taking into your body. And I mentioned just lastly, that the nutritionists, the doctors will always advise, increase the amount of fruits and vegetables in your diet. Increase the amount of fruit and vegetables in your diet. Ensure you're drinking the adequate amount of water as well. I'm told between 2 to 3 liters. It really depends upon you. Okay. And I'm positively encouraged. And those people say, I can't drink water. You know what I do? I put a little bit of fruits in my water, a little bit of orange or a bit of lemon, a bit of apple. What it does, it gives the water a nice flavor. You could say it's a flavored drink without the additional sugar.
Oh my gosh.
It's absolutely beautiful. Encourage children, They say, Coke. No, give them their water with a fruit in it. Honestly, give it to them as children, and that will they'll develop a habit in adulthood as well. Plain water with a bit of fruit in it is as good as, forgive me for those companies, I know you're not going to like me when I say this, it's as good as those big tins of sodas and other drinks. Okay? As good as. and healthier. Let me tell you, this is much healthier than those cans of sodas and things, okay?
Mhm.
If you don't believe me, speak to your doctor, speak to your GP, speak to your nutritionist. If I've got it wrong, I invite you to call in one day and tell me, hey, Motivator, you got it wrong. You know, it's fine, absolutely fine for me to be drinking 2 or 3 tins of these soda drinks every day. It's absolutely
Every
fine for
day.
me to consume those
Hope
big
no one's
white
doing
stuff
that.
in the meat, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a real, that would make for a really interesting show. Maybe we should have a show dedicated to listeners telling us how
Mhm.
they strive to stay healthy. That'd be an interesting
Okay.
show. Yep, that would be a
Yeah.
positive show. 'Cause I'm sure we
Mhm.
have one or two individuals who come on and suggest that these messages are not sound. You know? And of course,
Yeah.
critically, as you know, exercise. Your body wants exercise, Lady Chelsea, huh? We need
Yeah.
to exercise, work out, sweat to the point where we're sweating. Our bodies are made for that. Yeah. Our heart would appreciate it. Our heart is working every moment of our lives. When it stops working, then you're not alive. Well,
Yeah, that's very
hey,
true.
you know,
That's very true.
common sense, isn't it, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, you've got to exercise. I want to encourage people to exercise, you know? And I know it's tough if you've not been used to it, but you've got to. Please, I beg you, I beg you. If only for 5 or 10 minutes per day, some light exercise, but do it regularly. The important thing is to do it regularly. And over time, you will pick up your own pace. But start slowly. Don't just go mad and
Rush
say you're going to
into
run
yeah.
5 miles. You've not
Well,
run 5 miles in your life. Don't do that. That's foolish. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you might just run up and down your road for 5 minutes. As long as you do it every day.
Yeah. Depends on age. Walk, jog around your
Or brisk
area.
walk, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But do it every day. And once you get that regularity, okay, you will psychologically adjust and you either lengthen or shorten depending upon what your needs are, because you'll start listening to your body. Your body will tell you what it needs. Yeah. And the moment you start listening to your body, much of what I've said will be just a matter of course. You know, of course, it's ridiculous. Why would I be putting into my teas and coffees 2 or 3 spoonfuls of sugar, or adding salt, always additional salt to my diet, you know, or consuming these fats, you know, both in meat and, of course, in dairy products. Remember I said last week I was challenged, oh, dairy is not fat. Dairy is absolutely fat. That's what it is. You know? That's what it is. Cheese is fat. Yep, that's cow's fat or goat's fat. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
You know, full cream milk is fat.
Yeah.
It's fat. You know? I mean, drinking cow's milk. Can you imagine? Not even human milk. I know. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Wow.
I don't know what's right. You know, but why am I doing that to human milk when I wouldn't do that to cow? It just goes to show how much we've been indoctrinated. Because it stands to reason human milk must be better for us than animals' milk.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, no, yeah, I'm sure, but I don't know what age that would stop. And that would be quite inhumane to milk women.
Maybe that's why it's been the capitalist system, you see, has found a creature not genetically dissimilar to us that we are reasonably compatible with, you know. But full cream milk is just like a big streak of fat in your meat, you know, because that's what it is. Just fat. Cheese is just fat. All these things are just fat. Okay? I don't say stop eating them or drinking them. I simply say to you, consider how much you're consuming each day. That's right. Exercise is so important. But of course, as I've said, exercise, I've pointed out it's important to get the habit of physically exercising. It's equally important to take care of your spiritual, and the theme for today, our mental health. So it's important for us to meditate, to give ourselves time, to allow all the pressures of the world to flow away, and to give ourselves space just to settle, and to allow ourselves to rise, energy levels to rise, Allow the energy to flow through you so you feel invigorated. Yeah. And to feel invigorated, to feel more alive. You become more mentally alert. Yeah. More physically robust. And you raise, therefore, the capacity of your own immune system to resist the maladies of the world, the viruses, the germ, all those cancers and those other maladies that affect us, because you created a positive energy around yourself, both taking care to eat the right food, to exercise, to meditate, to raise your energy levels so you're able to cope better. And of course, mental health is equally as important. And if in doubt, I say to people, seek professional advice. Don't listen to me. One thing I might say, go to a professional. Speak to a professional. Seek professional advice. And indeed, the theme of today's show is Black Mental Health Matters. Your mental health matters. Your mental health matters. And this is the theme of today's program. But anyway, Lady Chelsea, I think I've said enough for the moment. Okay, so crucial health message has been communicated. I'm going to hand over to you. Okay, I'm going to hand over to you. Or in fact, before I hand over to you, forgive me. I just want to say one quick statement, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Last week's show, young Derek, wasn't he a remarkable young man?
Yeah, no, he really was.
And his father, oh boy, what a father. Oh my God. I have to say to you, both of you, I was so very, very impressed. And all the commentary I've had all week about last week's show, it's how empowering that show was last week. And you could always doing at the moment is seeing the tip of the iceberg, And there are many, many more talented boys and girls who are unsung heroines, heroes, who we want to give publicity to, okay? So if your son or daughter, your nephews or niece are engaged in activities that you want to give public recognition to, tell us about it. Tell us about them, and we'll get them on the show. Because this show is an empowerment show. This show is intended to change the narrative. This show is intended to enable us not only to say we will do something in order to make the changes, that we actually follow through. Yep. This is the Motivator show where we translate words into action. Okay, Lady Chelsea, over to you. Go on. Hey.
Yeah, so here's the competition we run from Malako, is another young, talented young boy who wrote his own book, which I'll remind everyone is called Tutankhamun, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King. We've been giving that away as the prize, also with the £25. This is targeted at the younger children. I have 2 questions, as I do every week. One question for under 10s and one question for 11 to 16-year-olds. So I will give out the number so everyone is prepared, and then I will get the questions. Okay, so the number to call is 020 348 152 40, and then you'll be asked for a PIN number, which is 370 733 4397, followed by the hash key sign. So I have 2 questions. The first question is for under 10s. This is for under 10s to answer. Let me turn the volume up. Cool.
Maybe Malachi's voice.
Question 1.
Let me do that again.
Question 1. How do you spell Tutankhamun?
So that's, how do you spell Tutankhamun? The second question for 11 to 16-year-olds.
Question 9. Who or what did the people of Kemet worship during the time of Tutankhamun?
So that's who or what did the people of Kemet worship at the time of Tutankhamun? Those are 2 questions for this week. Yeah, feel confident, right, to hear from you. Call in. As I said, we have prizes, so it's the book and £25.
£25, ladies and gents. I'm not saying ladies and gents, I don't mean those who are above 16-year-old, I might add.
Yeah, no. And I feel like what I think me and the Motivator said we would do is also get more questions from Derek last week and do the same kind of thing. So we'll have 2 questions, extra questions from him that we'll talk to him about, and have his book, which he wrote at 11 or 10 years old, as the prize as well. So, yeah.
And of course, his book is aptly titled, Yes, Words Are Wonderful.
Yeah.
What an impressive young man. And let me give out the number again, Lady Chelsea, so just to remind the listeners. And I know that those highly motivated parents, those highly motivated young people are preparing to go to Saturday school right now, or preparing to go to their other activities right now. I know that, but you should be listening here because they're £25. And if you call this number, 0203 481 5240. And of course, the PIN number is 3707 33 43 97, followed by the # sign. I'm sorry, Blakey, I'm going to filter it. It's the vertical and horizontal symbol on your keypad. Yep, that's right. Goes that way.
Enjoy doing it. That's
well, tell them. You just assume. You can't assume.
They have a phone.
Vertical and horizontal symbol on your keypad.
Okay, cool.
That's the one. Okay. Look forward to hearing from you. Now, I noticed we've got a caller on the line, and I put you on mute. This caller with number ending 2911. Now, if you are a young person and you are able to answer this question, please unmute yourself. I had to put you on mute with some interference in the background, but if you are a young person and you would like to respond to these questions, then please feel able to respond. But you would need to unmute yourself. I've muted you. So this would call a number 2911. Okay, no, 2911 is still there. That's okay. If you're not going to respond to questions, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But nevertheless, it'd be really good to hear from you nevertheless. So if you wish to unmute yourself, feel free and able to do that. Okay. And if I may, Lady Chelsea, what was your view of Derek last week and the Words Are Wonderful theme?
Yeah, no, it's surprising. I think.
Why surprising? So this is interesting. Go on, yeah.
I mean, one, I don't know that many 11-year-olds, so it's not. I don't tend to talk to 11-year-olds, but from what I've seen, he spoke like really well and knew what he wanted to say, and when he spoke, he always said "I feel" and "I think" and stuff like that. I think showed he was quite in touch with how he felt and thought. So yeah, no, I was but not that 11-year-olds aren't smart and whatever, but he was, I don't know, he stood out, and the fact that he wanted to help and he's taking time out of his day to actually create a YouTube channel, because that's hard and long, and to try and teach others and his peer group, and then write a book, and he's doing a lot for 11-year-old, and he's just started secondary school, and he's doing more than I was doing. So a lot of people, but yeah, no, I was very impressed with him.
I'm going to say something to you though, Lady Chelsea. I'm convinced, okay, 'cause I was a school governor for 27 years, and I've seen literally thousands of boys and girls go through the schools I was involved in. I'm convinced that if you were given the right encouragement, you could have written a book at age 11.
Yeah, I believe it.
I know you. See?
That's what-
Exactly my point. Do you see what I mean? So we as parents have got to be ambitious for our children.
Yeah, I agree.
We have to be ambitious for them. Okay. And not take it into this propaganda that says that our children are underperforming, in numeracy and literacy and science, and humanities. Complete nonsense, yeah? It's us. We can make the difference, The schools which are supposed to be providing an education service are actually at our whim. Despite what the teachers might say, or head teachers might say, or indeed the governors might say, they're at our whim, at our opinions. It's important as parents for our opinion to assert themselves, to be known inside the schools. So our expectations of the schools, we've got to continue to raise them. I'm convinced, and you said it without hesitation, if given the right encouragement, you could have written a book at age 11. You could have done that. There are tens of thousands of boys and girls who have the confidence to do exactly what Derek did last week, but are not encouraged to do so, And it's that narrative we need to change. We've got to positively encourage our children to achieve, to be thirsty for knowledge. All knowledge is good. All knowledge is good. You can never have too much knowledge. I've spoken to those who are taking A-levels and they've got 4 A-levels. I said, well, why don't you take a few more? Why don't you double that figure?
A-levels?
Yeah, why not, I say? Why not? Because
if you can,
it improves your ability to cope, to solve problems, because they broaden your mind, They encourage you to think in different ways across different subjects, You therefore develop a solutions mentality, So when you come across a wall, you're able to think through the best way to get through the wall. You will not resort to physical violence, physical altercation to resolve a dispute. You sit down and you engage in reasoned arguments. Okay. And I always watched at the various schools I've been involved in, the children who are able to engage in reasoned arguments, particularly when they are engaged in manipulating their friends, particularly those who think playing football versus doing their homework is better, more fun. But it seems that attitude, just like we talked about sugar and salt earlier on, we develop those habits, attitudes, We encourage children, particularly very young children, to see sport as being the be-all and end-all. Far too many children think that, instead of their studies, having a clear purpose. And you observe those, usually it's because of the influence from parents. Parents are critical to raising the expectation of children. Parents are critical. You observe Derek's dad with Derek, you notice?
Yeah.
How they hug each other unashamedly on national, international radio, YouTube and Facebook as we're transmitting right now. Unashamed, unrestricted, unreserved affection for each other. And that father and the mother we didn't see, but the father is able to guide that child. That child will respect the advice provided. Parents are critical in forming a positive outlook amongst our children. We parents are critical. And I say to parents who are struggling or, in experiencing difficulties, seek help from members of the community. And if you find difficulty to find members of the community, contact us here and I can redirect you to someone who I'm sure will give you the support you need. But parents are critical if we are to be successful as a community, so that our children leave schools with good GCSEs, good amount of A levels, and then go to university and get a good outcome in university. But you don't stop at 1 degree these days. You've got to have 2 or 3 degrees these days. Yeah. And I know you're smiling, but this is the technological age. Having a breadth of experiences, a breadth of qualifications increases your capacity.
Yeah. I think it's more the money with that stops people there.
Exactly. So it's all about what we believe or perceive for ourselves. Yeah? So when you see young boys like Malachi and Derek, and we're now hunting for young ladies now. I've said this to Lady Chelsea earlier. For young ladies.
Say it like that.
Want to find some young ladies now? Come on, because on my WhatsApp, okay, I've got that wonderful Amanda Gorman, the poet laureate, in the United States.
Okay.
Oh, a beautiful writer. I can listen to her all day and night. Powerful. She can invoke one's emotions through her words, her written verses. Really, really powerful. We have such talent in our community. We need to nurture that talent. When you say it, we need to protect it, nurture it to maturity. Okay, that's what we need to do as a community, and our children will be thankful for it. They would appreciate our efforts to ensure that they reach their social, economic, academic potentials. Really, really important. And I say to parents who are struggling, contact us. Tell us you're struggling, and let us find the resources. And when I say resources, within the community to rally around in support of you. Okay? No parent is alone. Say it again. No parent is alone. Okay? They should never feel as if you are alone. Okay? You are never alone. And some of us brothers, we need to step up to the plate often. I say so. Step up to the plate. But you know what? I point out to the mothers. The brothers are essentially, it's really important for me to say this, these brothers were sons. And sons invariably, the greatest influences in their lives are the mothers. So mothers have the power to shape young men, grown men, to be good husbands and fathers. You have it within your power to do so. And what I'm always worried about is that I don't see enough young women or older women organizing and considering what it means to be a parent, what it means to influence a child in positive ways.
I don't know.
I realize that. Yeah. But you know what? I'm observing. By the way, I've come across a few women. Most certainly, I say women particularly because women are, I believe, in our community are the greatest influencers. I want to see far more women influencing, leading the charge to our reparation, internal reparation. That's what it is, the repair process that's underway. Women should be right up there in front of us. That's why I would never do
balanced. It was just balanced men, and it was just do it together and work together. It's because some people just like women do a lot already, and say that they're the face of things. So just there should be a balance. We should be working together.
Okay. I want to encourage women to assert themselves. Yeah, I want to positively encourage women to do so. There are far too many blokes around that I know. Right? I say blokes, I mean it. I want to see more women assert themselves. That's what I want to see.
So saying you see more men leading parenting.
Oh, most certainly. Women are crucial. Let's say again, young boys spend most of their time with their mothers. Mothers are a crucial influencer. Okay, and mum is alone. It's those mums I want to encourage. Please contact us if you need support. You are never alone. There's a whole community of really talented people able to rally round and give support. And if you're not a member of an organization, join an organization. You see, I personally would recommend that you join the Global African Congress, a UK-based, internationally based organization, which is a repair organization made up of really mature African peoples there to support you, okay? Put in Global African Congress UK in your search engine, you can find Global African Congress. You know, later on I can give you the website details, but that is possible. We are the change makers. Yeah, ordinary men and women. We are the change makers, but we've got to envision what is the change we want. We've got to have that vision first of all, and then articulate that vision. Once you start to say it out loud, it will come to pass. How about that? Enough preaching from me. Let's go to the show, huh? Okay, let's go to the show. Lady Chelsea, I believe you may have our speaker for today. Kunle, can you hear us?
Good morning, I certainly can.
How are you feeling this fine morning? Come on, how are you feeling? Huh?
I'm feeling very well, thank you. I've been tuned into the show. Likewise, I think we need to see more women, like you said, stepping up. But it's great to be on, and I hope you're keeping well.
Yeah, thank you. I want to introduce you to my co-pilot here, Lady Chelsea.
Hi, good morning, Kunle.
Hi, good morning.
Okay. Kunle, you and I know each other, okay? No, you and I know each other. We won't go into detail of how we know each other for now, okay? I want to focus on the brilliant works that you are involved in, okay? Can you tell us, what is the Empowerment Group? What is that?
Sure. So the Empowerment Group is a specialist online therapy charity for the Black community in the UK. And as you will know, and as many people and many viewers and listeners might also know, Black people suffer disproportionately when it comes to mental illness compared to other races. So it's a charity that was designed to deliver therapy specifically for the Black community in light of the mental health challenges that the Black community face.
Mm-hmm. And if I may ask you, and thank you for that response, who are you? You know, I understand you set it up, okay? But who are you? Are these, you said therapists, are these therapists from right across the world? Are they UK based? Are they men and women? Are they indeed from our community?
Absolutely. So they are men and women of an African and Caribbean background across the UK, various different ages, but of course, qualified therapists in their own respect. We have psychologists, we have psychotherapists, we have counselors, and they work across the UK. There's a team of about 15 of us at present. And as I say, from across the UK, diverse African and Caribbean backgrounds that are working to solve this cause together, because as you know, there's power in partnership. And so that's our team of counselors. Of course, we have a leadership team, which includes myself, a group of people who have lived experiences in this area, as well as experiences working with that community. And so we're just doing everything we can to come together to serve our communities, to give back to our people in need, and really try to change the stats that are quite alarming and that we see out there today.
Okay. Can you share with us some of those stats? Is this so we understand the backdrop of what it is you're responding to? Give us some idea of some of the stats in terms of the mental health conditions within the community.
Yeah, sure. Well, if you think about this, right, 1 in 4 people face mental health challenges, right?
1 in 4, 25%.
1 in 4, 25% face mental health challenges, right? Now, we've also got to take into account that 50% of mental health challenges start by the age of 14. By the time someone's aged just 14, okay, 50%, and 75% by the time they're age 24. So that in itself is an alarming stats, right? Now, couple that in the Black community with low educational attainment, low income households, clashes with the criminal justice system, racial injustice seen and experienced both here and abroad. in terms of how it affects the Black community, research shows that you couple all of that together, and Black people are up to 7 times more likely to experience mental illness compared to, let's say, their white counterparts. And if we break it down even further, Black men specifically are 17 times more likely to face a mental illness compared to, let's say, their white counterparts. And if we break that down even further, women, now we are seeing, looking at the research, are twice as likely than Black men to experience depression or anxiety. So these are some of the kind of alarming statistics that we're dealing with when it comes to mental illness within our community.
Wow. I'm almost lost for words. Those figures are frightening. Why isn't the press reporting this? This should be a national crisis, shouldn't it?
It should be, but unfortunately, I don't know how frank and honest and direct I can or cannot be on your show, or if I need to be politically correct.
Go ahead. I'll moderate if you need to. Go ahead. It really is.
But I think the reason why it's not being reported might be the same reasons why, you know, when a young teenager of a Black heritage goes missing, it doesn't get as much press as it might do for a white person. I think we can all agree that there is a form of institutional racism, and with that, it's kind of, you know, it's seen, it's slightly acknowledged, but really nothing's really been done to put it out there in the press to kind of spread the word or to help the Black community per se. And that's where organizations like the Empowerment Group come in, where not are we just looking to help our own community, we're also looking at lobbying government, lobbying institutions and saying, hey, what are you doing for the Black community?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fascinating, fascinating. Lady Chelsea, I know you want to ask a quick question on what you've heard so far.
Sorry, I have a few. But yeah, sorry. I just want to know why this became important to you. Obviously, like everything you've said is important racially and like mentally, stuff like that. But why specifically did you choose to go down this route and do something about it?
So when I was 16, right, I've lived in the borough that I live in all my life. And when I was 16, I would go to school, but when I came back from school, I would actually go to work. So this is my final year of school. I would have to go to work to support my family because my mum was involved in a car accident, so couldn't work. And my dad was abroad. And as I heard Councillor Martin saying earlier about, you know, a lot of guys being raised by their mothers, that was the case with myself, with my dad not being around. As a result of that, that put a lot of strain on the family. At 16-year-olds, as a 16-year-old, not was I just trying to do my GCSEs, I was going to work after school, not to support myself with my pocket money, but to support my family. And what I didn't realize in hindsight was having been taunted about the clothes that I was wearing or the items that I couldn't afford, like my friends, all of those things, as a young moldable person, were of course being stacked up in my mind. And actually, at the age of 16, I actually attempted suicide. Now, in hindsight, looking back, I can look at how I felt at that time and label that as me being depressed. At the time, I didn't know that. I can look back in hindsight now when I know that, 50% of mental illnesses and mental health challenges start at the age of 14. I can acknowledge that perhaps I was fighting with something then, even if I'm not fighting with it now. And I think from that, and just looking back and looking at how I felt and my experiences, but also going to work in my local community with my local youth club, with my local school that I actually attended, and seeing how mental illness was affecting those who I called friends, those who I spent time with. All of those factors coupled together became dear to me, became personal to me. And I said, listen, if I'm going through this, if I see others are going through this and we don't know where to get support, we don't know how to get support, we don't even know how to verbalize it, perhaps to family coming from an African and Caribbean background, something needs to be done. Someone needs to speak up. And who better to solve a cause or give back than somebody who has experienced it, someone who has gone through it. And that was my position really. And coming to the peak of the pandemic with it affecting the Black community even more, it was time for me to use my skills and my experiences to actually say, hey, something needs to be done. And so working together with a group of people who thought like-minded was what was the catalyst really to get this started. And here we are today.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's great to hear, because I've kind of been like through the same thing. I think only recently I realized I feel like my whole life I've been depressed. But like I didn't know what it was at the time. I didn't know what mental health was. And it's only like recently I was just like, okay, I was going through this like a lot, and I was like losing friends and didn't do my work. I failed college. Like so many things happened. So I just want to know what is being done either in this charity or, do you know, like with mental health education, because it's only now that I'm learning that I had PTSD, anxiety and depression all at the same time, all through things I've mainly kind of worked on it by myself. I have seen therapists here and there, but I think seeing a therapist, it wasn't really like, this is something you should go to. I think the only reason why I went is because my mother is a counsellor. Sure. So it's kind of in there to kind of mental health was kind of important to her. So it's like, she would do that. But I know for a lot of people, especially in the Black community, therapy is like a no-no. And it's like depression is not even seen as like a thing, just get on with it, because we have all these other struggles. So I was just wondering, what kind of, is there, I don't know, I don't want to say a subject, but is there a way that you're able to educate people on what these terms are, see if they have it, or in just education in general?
I think that's where us organizations that are working nationally and also working in local communities have to be ready and willing to have these conversations, both on a community level, but also on a personal level. You know, there's nothing wrong with bringing up discussions around how people feel about talking therapies and talking to others and getting support when it comes to mental health. And that can be done around a dinner table, that can be done on a bus with some friends going home from somewhere. It can be brought up in casual conversation, because there is a stigma out there, and that stigma does need to be addressed. And coming from an African background, and those of us who come from an African and Caribbean background, we typically come from a background of spirituality, even if it's not a faith background. We come from a background of spirituality. And with that, we look at things like mental illness as, this is not right. This is a spirit against what I believe, or it's demonic or the like. And so because of that, we easily brush it aside. And actually, the BBC did an interesting article in October last year talking about how African parents deal with mental illness.
Oh, okay.
Especially in Africa. And unfortunately, it's alarming, because parents are locking up their children, you know, and they just don't have an idea or an understanding of what mental health is or how it exists, because they've been conditioned from a spiritual and faith background to believe, no, we don't believe in those kind of things. Those things are not real. But it is real. It's happening. We're seeing it. So I think we need to get more education out there, both formally, but more importantly, those of us who are aware, like all of us here on this show today, need to continue to have those conversations with friends and family in casual settings, in relaxed environments, just to kind of see where people are at in that, and encourage those who are on board with talking therapies to also encourage others, so that each one can help one.
Help one, to teach one. You're so right. And if I may just to add, Lady Chelsea, these are good questions of yours, huh? These are questions, I have to admit, let me give you a personal question. As Lady Chelsea says something quite personal for herself. Let me share something for myself. I have to admit that I hadn't seen mental health around myself, you know. And you're right. I had the attitude that, I'm a sort of hot-blooded Jamaican man, strong man, with Boston. We don't succumb to these things, you know. These things for in my time we can't. We can't thing. No, we're not do that. You know. You understand? Yeah. Okay. Total fallacy, of course. I recall my first day of being school governor, local school. I entered it. Then came to the school playground. I found 4 children fighting. 4 children from our community fighting. So demeaning, I have to tell you. Came on my first day, my first meeting, my first encounter, to see our children fighting. And the teachers, there were no teachers around. I was a parent, and I see a child fighting. What do? You have to intervene, huh? You can't just walk by, can you? So I walked over and said, boys, little boys, what are you doing? And I'm putting them apart. Why are you doing that? But I asked them, well, what's this about? Apparently, one of the boys had dropped a penny or 1 pence. Well, and the boy behind him picked it up. And somehow the boy who dropped the penny realized it was his penny. And they were fighting over a penny. Then their friends got involved as well. Okay. But now I said, well, why don't you just say to him, if this was your money, a penny, you know, and just do it. He said, my dad told me that if someone takes something from you, you must beat them up.
Oh.
That's the way to resolve it. I said, okay. And I said, but why do you say it like that? Beat them up. Because that's the way my dad taught me to do it.
Mm.
So we carry trauma from one generation to another.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that was a powerful lesson for me on the very first day of my first school, being school governor. That was a powerful lesson. And whilst the school itself, in fact, I won't talk about the school on this occasion, but let me just tell you, the school had challenges anyway in terms of its management. Okay.
Mm.
But that was a lesson about parenting, we as parents, and the lessons we teach our children, you know? But I would never have said that mental health was a factor in our community. But of course, I've met those boys' parents, and I can assure you, they needed to go into counseling.
Mm. Mm.
Let me tell you, they needed to go into counseling. And there are far too many people out there who've not entered counseling and see counseling as being a sign of weakness, demeaning, you know, something, or shame on the family, when in fact it should be a sign of personal strengths and desire for personal growth and development, you know. So yes, I hear you, Kunde. I hear you. Sorry, Lady Chelsea.
No, it's okay. It's fine, it's okay. I want to know how far your kind of help went, in a sense of like what kind of issues people could come to you with. For example, like is it like everyday kind of mental health things? So like I said, like not every day, but like depression, anxiety, that kind of stuff. Or is it like you also deal with like domestic violence victims or schizophrenia or postmortem depression? How does it span? How far does it go? Your help that you can give people?
So interestingly enough, when we started as an organization, I would keep saying, we have counselors available. And it's only when I sat down with the team that I realized that actually we didn't just have counselors available. We had therapists who specialized and had trained in different schools of thought. So not just counseling, we had psychiatrists, we had psychotherapists.
Yeah.
And that meant we could open up our services to more people who were dealing with more, let's say, pressing or difficult challenges around mental illness. And so people can come to us based on a number of challenges, some in which you mentioned, whether it's schizophrenia, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression. And also, one of the things that we have worked on as well is helping people who feel suicidal. And we've been able to do that through our team of counselors, but also working in partnership. And I guess that's the power of partnership. And so we worked with an organization called Suicide Light through one of our counselors who is actually trained with the organization to understand a little bit more about how we can help people who might be feeling suicidal. And as an organization, we have about maybe 14 to 15 different organizations which we can refer people to where we are unable to help them, either because we don't have time, sources, or resources available at the time, or if their need is beyond our skill set. So we are quite open in terms of what we can help people with, and we're very realistic about what we can and cannot do at this stage. but more importantly, we are able to signpost people and help them get the support they need as well. And I would just add as well, at present, if we were to go, if any one of us were to go to the NHS for support, how long do you think you would be waiting to be seen?
It's like 3 to 6 months now. Yeah.
You could be looking at 12 weeks or more.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to someone about this, and they said to me, well, someone could be dead by then.
Yeah, literally. Literally. That's a long time.
Absolutely. And one of the things we pride ourselves on is speed. Is being able to speak to someone and within 2 weeks have them up and running with the support that they need, because that is also very important. And let's not forget, you could be waiting 3 to 6 months only to unfortunately get a counselor that is not culturally appropriate for you.
Yeah, and only for a short amount of time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you know, coming to working with someone from the Black community, it's actually saying, hey, you're getting support from someone that looks like you, that will likely understand your background, your challenges, and what you face as a Black person here in the UK.
Yeah, which is helpful. I don't think I've been to a therapist that is not white, and mainly men. I think the one woman, she was the best that I had. But again, like, she was a white Irish lady, great at her job, but yeah, different. I want to kind of know if you'd face any difficulty with being a Black organisation. This hasn't been pushed back or...
Yes, there has. It hasn't always been verbally communicated.
Yeah.
As it has been kind of inadvertently said. And one of the challenges that we face as a Black organization is, especially when we are speaking to a business or corporate about support, is their idea of, if we are supporting a Black-led organization that deals only with Black people, it might not look good for our branding, it might not look good for our reputation. Therefore, we would prefer to support an organization that works with all community groups, because therefore it's inclusive and our business is inclusive and the like. We spoke to a business the other day, keen on coming on board and supporting us. And then they asked the question, so if we support you, is it only Black people that are going to benefit? You know, would you be able to open it up to a wider community? And that's kind of some of the challenges that we face when it comes to dealing with businesses and organizations, and really some of the main setbacks that we face. Not to mention as well that, unfortunately, and that's why I love the work that yourself and Councillor is doing, unfortunately, us Black people are not supportive of one another. And so a lot of the funding that we received in our initial year, maybe less than 7% of it was from Black people.
Oh, wow.
You go to Black History Month events, you might see 1 or 2 Black people in the audience, and you see a lot of white people. We're not very supportive of one another, and that needs to change. And so if, you know, businesses are going to say, no, we need more Black-led businesses that are going to say, yeah, let's support our own. And so that's who we're thinking about, talking about and targeting at this time, to try and counteract some of the setbacks that we're facing.
Okay, so that's kind of like to combat what you were saying, how the bigger companies or whatever don't want to kind of help because you're just focused on Black people. So it's trying to get our community to put in more.
Absolutely.
That's okay, cool.
Absolutely.
If I may, just try and get our timings right. Can I just ask 2 quick questions of Kunle? And then we might go to a call or 2, and we've got a few waiting in the wings at the moment. 2 quick questions. I see that you offer training days, Kunle, on your website. Can you just describe what training you offer to ordinary people like us, as it were, to understand the issue of mental health and how we can support what you do? Yeah.
Sure. So myself, our leadership team, and a number of our counsellors are mental health first aid qualified. Okay. And so we offer training in mental health first aid. So just like you have physical first aid, there is mental health first aid, which looks at how you can offer immediate kind of short-term support to those in need, which is really good as I mentioned earlier, for conversations that you might be having with friends and family on how to identify mental illness, mental health challenges, and how to address that and support a person through that so that they can become mentally well or get the support that they need to go down that path. So that,
forgive me for dropping there. To make sure I've captured this, and you must forgive my ignorance. I've not heard the term mental health first aid.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating. And so that's a course you offer. That's a one-day course, or a weekday, a weekend course, or a week length. Just tell us more about that. That's an interesting one, which I suspect many listeners could engage with if we understand better. Go ahead.
Sure. It's a 3-day course minimum. Okay. So it can be done over a longer period of time, could be done over a week, but minimum, you're looking about 3 days. And it really gives you an insight into the various different mental illnesses that exist today, and also how to go about addressing and speaking to someone who might be dealing with any of those challenges. So it's kind of identifying what is the challenge that this person might be facing, and giving you the tools and the resources to be able to address that. But aside from the mental health first aid, which is quite a pricey course, wherever you go, there is a mental health awareness course that we offer, which is a little bit of a snippet of that, where we would sit down with individuals and organizations to help them become more aware of what mental health challenges look like in an individual, so that if they are working with a colleague or they're working with someone else, a friend, a family member, they can have certain conversations, and from those conversations kind of pick up on some clues as to perhaps some of the challenges that a person might be facing.
Right. Okay. So these are interesting courses. And how regularly do you organize the courses? Or do you have one once a month or once a quarter? Just give us some idea.
So at the moment, our courses are bespoke by booking.
Okay.
So we haven't actually offered any at the moment to the general public. What we have done is made the training available for booking by groups and organizations and businesses. It will be early next year when we look at making it available for individuals.
Okay. And my last question before we might go to the callers, what is happening next month? What's the official launch you mentioned in passing to me a few days ago?
Yes, so we were meant to launch our charity. We launched as a charity last year. So I've been working in the mental health and charity sector before then, but launched this charity last year. But of course, in the middle of a pandemic, we couldn't have a launch event, which I typically like to do because I think it brings greater awareness to the cause. So we are actually having our official launch a year and a bit later, fittingly in Black History Month. And we're having a launch event on the 17th of October at Goldsmiths University, Goldsmiths Student Union. Sorry, I must add, because it's a separate building from the university. And really, we're just bringing the Black community together. It's open to anyone and everyone for a night of comedy. We've got comedians, we're going to have poetry, some live acts, some networking, all in the name of mental health. Because one of the greatest ways to promote mental well-being is in connecting with others, talking with others, having fun, being able to laugh. And sometimes you're not able to get the support you need immediately, and you find that coming out and just meeting strangers for the first time, having a bit of a laugh, goes a very long way towards promoting good mental health.
Thank you. And how can a listener get one of your tickets, or how can they book to attend?
So tickets are almost going, so they would need to be quick. They can get a ticket and get more information on us on our website, theempowermentgroup.co.uk. And also we're on social media, Instagram and Twitter at TEG Online UK. So that's TEG Online UK. And the website is theempowermentgroup.co.uk.
Wonderful, thank you. We want to encourage listeners to go and attend. I haven't yet applied my ticket, but I will be attending. I just give apply notice there, couldn't I? There you are. Okay. Let's turn our attention to some of our callers. Now, I see we've got a previous guest on here, and it's good that you guys we'll be meeting up, I hope, soon. Sister Marcia, you're mute. Welcome, and thank you for calling in today.
Thank you, my brother. Give thanks. It's glad to be here. Kule, I congratulate you on the work you're doing presently. I set up a company called Black Mama Earth, mainly to deal with Rastafari, because that is a hidden community in the Black community. We have been misdiagnosed so many times in regards to, if we say Rastafari, then we're schizophrenic. So my question to you is, do you think that a lot of Black, I should say Africans, have been misdiagnosed over the years, i.e. a child, you know, like you said, you were 16, you wanted to be out playing with your friends, but because of the, you know, the pressure, not, when I say pressure, I mean that the lack of support that is given to you with your parent, with your mom, you had to go out and try to do some work. Now, do you think that a lot of people were misdiagnosed over the years, i.e. dyslexia, then they're turned out to say that they're schizophrenic? And how do you think that we can reach out to these people who have been misdiagnosed, got this medication over the years, and so now they're completely messed up? How do we reach out to these people? Because there's a lot of them in the Rastafari community, and I'm trying to help as much as I can. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. Absolutely, there has been many misdiagnoses, and in fact, when we spoke about stigmas earlier in the Black community, one of the reasons why, again, Black people are somewhat hesitant to get support when it comes to mental health challenges is because statistics show that Black people are the most referred group of people for medication, and the group that are most likely to be sectioned as well when it comes to mental illness. Unfortunately, a lot of that is as a result of misdiagnosis. And it goes back to the conversation we had earlier about institutional racism. Because if I can misdiagnose somebody and that's on their record, then perhaps an employer might look twice at their CV or think twice about employing them. And then it becomes part of a bigger picture to, let's say, keep Black people in a particular place. And I think what needs to be done is more education and training within the Black community. At the moment, only 1 in every 14 counsellors is Black. The counselling sector is very white, middle class dominated. So that needs to change. And that's where we are lobbying government to get support so that more Black people can be trained, can receive bursaries so that they can deal with Black people and not just have Black people shipped off to someone else or misdiagnosed. And I think that in what we can do at this level, in a community level, is have more conversations with our local councillors, have more conversations with our local councils, and create environments and meetings where we can come together and talk about what we can do collectively. Who knows who's in a position where we can speak to people about how this is being addressed so that we can perhaps set up something for ourselves where our people who know our people best can be in a position to address the needs of our communities. And I will say, of course, I know it's a long way, I know it's a lot of work to be done, but hey, it has to be started somewhere by someone, somehow. And so every little thing that we do has a bigger ramification. And so I would say, in answer to your question, that really we need to come together, connect with like-minded people and organizations, and we need to speak up more and support each other more so that those in positions of power can take note and start to help us implement the changes that we need to see.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Sister Marcia, just hold on just a second. I do want to take another call on the line now, and I will return to you, don't worry. Sister Esther, good morning to you. Sister Esther, you want to say?
You want to unmute yourself.
Okay. You're still muted at the moment. If you wish to say anything, of course. Oh, no? Okay.
I think there's someone else. No?
That's okay, that's all right. We've got caller with number ending 2911. You're currently on mute. Would you like to contribute or ask a question?
think
No,
the person's been
you're
on for a
gonna be
minute.
shy.
I forgot.
It happens, don't you worry. Yeah, these last 10 minutes, it's, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, if we turn back to Sis Marcia. Sis Marcia, that was an interesting question and response, and unity is strength, of course. I'm going to put it to you both. Clearly, you're both in the same field, okay? And you both have the same mind in this. Is there room for collaboration between you? Okay.
I would love to speak to Kule. I would love to speak to Kule because, like, you know, does he have any Rastas passing through? You know, because what I noticed that your website says 18 and over, but you had your first breakdown when you were 16. You know, don't you think you should be trying to reach now to the youth as well, not just the adults presently?
Well, at the moment, our service is online. And when it comes to working with young people online, it's a totally different kettle of fish than working with a young person in person when it comes to safeguarding and policies and the like. So we're taking it one step at a time. We're not trying to run before we can walk. We do have links with CAMS and other organizations that work with young people so that when young people come to us, we can refer them to them. And sometimes that works best when you have an organization that's been working with young people for 15 years. Sometimes you don't need to replicate what's already being done, as you just need to do signpost. So at the moment, that's where we are at. But of course, we know how important young people is. We know there's an epidemic of mental illness amongst young people. So that's not something that we are neglecting. And in regards to partnership and collaborating, absolutely, because everyone has something that we can learn from. And I'm sure there's things I can learn from my dear sister, and likewise, there's some things that we would share that she can learn from. And there is power in partnership. So I'm always open to collaboration and helping in any way that I can.
Give thanks. Have you ever had any Rastafari passing through your organization yet?
To be honest, I wouldn't know specifically, because when someone comes to our organization, they don't come to me as they do to the councillor. So only the councillors would know that. And of course, I'm not privy to what is discussed in the sessions or who is in the sessions due to client confidentiality. So I'm not quite sure. But again, as I say, that will be good to discuss with you and kind of find out more about the needs of that community, because you said it's a hidden community that has its own challenges. And of course, we want to be able to help as many people as we can. And it's a discussion I can put forward to my team at our next meeting. Has anybody had anyone from this community? What were some of the challenges, without going into detail, so that we can ensure that everybody's embraced and included?
Yep. Thanks a lot, Kule. I'll definitely put my email and telephone number in the chat.
No need to do that. I'll pass it to Kunle. Don't you worry.
Right. Thank you, Mr. The Motivator.
The Motivator, where we translate words into action. Now, we're not just discussing these matters, we'll do something about it, yeah? And you, both of you are examples of doers, change makers in the community. That's why we do the show, yeah?
I was gonna put up my hand when you were talking about women in the community, like you see more mothers. And I was gonna say
I tried to say something.
All right.
I'll leave you to it. Thank you. I'm here.
Thank you. Well, I'm so pleased you were there, you know, but we want more of you. I think if anything, the message I'm sure we want to communicate, we want to encourage greater awareness, we need to encourage our people to be more assertive on this subject. Okay, it's pretty fundamental. Okay, and which is why, of course, I'm a member of the Global African Congress, the reparations organization. So this is part of that internal self-repair. You couldn't lay yourself on like the antibodies that are fighting all the maladies that will invade us, you know? So you're an example of the antibodies. So the Global African Congress is the entire body. And what we're doing, we're bringing together people of like mind and ensuring that you are appropriately resourced so you can deliver on those big agenda items. And I know this is a big, complex area for discussion, and my awareness level isn't as high. and I would encourage this broader discussion. We might need to think, Sister Marcia, how we sort of put it into bite-sized chunks, for example, But I like the concept of the mental health first aid course, for example, I don't know how much it costs, we won't go into that right now, but I like that concept, okay? And we might want to do a series of episodes which give light to the first aid course. We pay you, of course, don't you worry, but you should never be out of pocket in terms of the exercise. But the exercise itself, if publicized, is clearly visual, and those therefore who are listening can participate, okay, and learn from the experience. So we're making the impact. You are being what we know you to be, change makers, but part of the fault is within us as a community, our attitude to mental health, and that fundamentally is what we need to change. And listening to your response to Lady Chelsea's questions, and they're very deep questions, it's quite obvious that we need to think about this from other angles, because we've had just to focus on the Rastafari community, which I'm very familiar with. You've got yourself now. It's quite clear that you have a slightly broader approach, and you're primarily at adults, but some children, but most certainly adults. Okay, and you're certainly developing means to intervene locally, and of course, I suspect we might have identify specialists for young people, the school-age children. I'm very familiar with school-age children and the emotional pressures that they're under. And the secondary school that I was school governor of, we got to a point where we're spending more than £250,000 on counsellors in the schools. But the effect of counsellors on academic performance, for each counsellor servicing the needs of up to 30 or 40 young people over a week period, had an incremental impact of around 4 to 5% on the overall academic performance of the school. Okay, so we increased the numbers of counsellors, until we had 9 counsellors. Okay, and within 3 years, a school that was grossly underperforming academically was up and above the national average for GCSE results. That was the impact of counsellors in the school. Not counsellors like myself, counsellors, those who are involved in talking therapies, or indeed will signpost them elsewhere. That was the impact of counsellors. Profound impact. And one of the organizations I belong to, I've mentioned Global African Congress, but certainly would benefit from having links with your own organization, Kunle. Okay, there are lessons from both sides. As I said, we're concerned with resourcing, ensuring that you can thrive in the community. You would have our 100% support. More details I'll provide you after this show.
Thank you.
So I can see genuine transformation is possible, but as long as we're totally committed to this, and I know you are. I've known you for long enough, and I've listened to you, and I've observed. I know you are totally committed to this. That's why you're here. I know for certain this was the right choice. Anyway, let me, Sister Marcia, do you have any closing comments? And I'm going to hand back to Lady Chelsea for further questions.
Yes, give thanks. I just put in the chat algae, and Kule know what it means. And that is one of the things that we need to be talking to in regards to us as Black people, because one of the things that we try to do is mind our own business. And we see someone who might look different sometimes, is acting different, but yet we don't ask what's the problem. So that's one of the things we need to do, is get back to that family bond where we're there for each other. Give thanks.
Beautiful.
Is that what that word means? Sorry.
Yeah. Is that what word means?
It's an acronym that asks, you ask, you listen, you, in regards to engaging, in regards to encouraging. So it's an acronym.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we need to have you back on. You're going to teach us more, Sister Marcia.
No
We're going to have you both back on. Don't you worry. Together, we'll do a coordinated show. This subject is so fundamental to us realizing our mental and spiritual liberation.
You'll have us back on when we are collaborating.
Oh, yes. Don't you worry. You definitely will be collaborating. Otherwise, you're not coming back on. I'm going to tell you. So, collaboration, unity is strength, So, hold on there. I've got another caller on now. The number ending 7968. Good morning and welcome.
I'm Rising.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Who's on the line? Who's on the line?
Yeah, Graham Rising's Lady Chelsea. His brother Nat.
Brother Nat. I'm making sure. Brother Nat, greetings and welcome to you. Thank you for honouring us with your presence this morning. Do you have a question for my good brethren Tunde?
I do indeed. And let me start by just saying give thanks, Lady Chelsea, for your very pertinent questions. They were very constructive for everybody to overstand, and especially the youth. So give thanks for that. And as usual, yeah, no worries. As usual, the Motivator, give thanks for the very important subject and the fact that this is about, as you said, turning words into action. So I give thanks for you so much. Do you know what I mean? I'm very grateful for you. And of course, I have to give thanks to our brother Kale, and as Sister Marcia was, really alluding to, there's so much parts of our community that really need to tap into and engage and even collaborate with yourself. So I'm so grateful that you're here, my brother, and what you've explained has been very, very clear, very crisp, and very to the point. And I really perk up when I hear that very much about just trying to make things very simple, streamlined, and available. And to my question is about visibility. So I've worked in mental health for since 2007. I've worked in Southwest London and St George's Mental Health Trust. Mm-hmm. We were the trust that was the first to set up a recovery college. So that's one of my questions. How aware are you, or how tapped in are you with the recovery college? Because I've been fortunate enough to take some of the learnings that I've done from working in the recovery college and make a bespoke course out into our community, but not really the time to focus on delivering that. And it's focused on identity, stigma, and recovery. So I'm wanting to know how much you know about the recovery college, if you have any expertise from your team in that, because the way you've just explained in very brief of the setup seems, as I said, very streamlined. You've got your ship in order, and your focus. But my most important question is, and this is where I think the Motivators really making the point of joining an organization. How much outreach work have you been able to do, given, I know it's your first year in these circumstances and under what they call the pandemic? How much outreach work have you been able to do? And if you haven't been able to do too much, then like Sister Marcia, obviously, I want to be there on the 17th of October and obviously speak to you.
Good for you. There's a lot there, my brethren. There's a lot there for him to respond to. But let him give a chance to respond, and I can come back directly to you, my brethren.
No problem. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir.
Brother Nat.
Yeah, Nathaniel, Brother Nat. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your questions today, which are really interesting and insightful, even from a question point of view. So I'll respond on a couple of levels. So we are currently in meetings through one of our trustees' connections with various different NHS departments. And considering that you've worked in the trust, you probably are likely aware or may not be aware of this new integrated care system that's come into place, where various different boroughs have ICSs, and each ICS has a different approach as to how they want to deliver on NHS's long-term mental health plan, which they're in year 2 of at the moment. And so in terms of being able to, I think one of your questions was around the wider community and kind of recovery models and, you know, the bigger picture. We are currently in discussions in terms of working with local trusts, which you have worked in, and working with the NHS so that we can support more of our people that are referred to them for support. In terms of in the community, again, because of the demand for our services, it's kind of been word of mouth. We had times where we've had waiting lists of hundreds and hundreds of people waiting for our services because there's more demand than there are resources at the moment. So we haven't needed at present to go out and spread the word from the perspective of clients because we have more clients than we do resources at the moment. But we are thinking and looking at spreading the word even more so that people are aware of the services aside from the counseling that we offer, such as training, and really being able to help other people go and have those conversations around mental health in the Black community in their local community. So we'd be grateful for any and every support. You said you come down on the 17th. It'd be great to connect with you and kind of hear what ideas you might have as to how we can get the word spread more widely. We are speaking to national organizations and organizations like Rethink as well, who have added us to their cultural appropriate service information board. We'd love any support we can to get the word out there about who we are, what we're doing, and we'd love to partner with different organizations to be able to do that. I'm not sure if that answers all of your questions, but I just thought I'd do my best to kind of summarize in a sense where we're at in that regard.
Yes, it certainly does, Brother Kale. And I mean, what I would say in response is, yes, I'm sure you're inundated with those that are needing support. What we know, is that what they quote unquote, the hard to reach communities are even more in suffering because they are what we call in the recovery kind of stratosphere is pre-contemplative. They're not even aware that mental health is even an issue, to even know what that means, to even want to seek out support. So the fact that you're inundated with those that are aware, contemplative, that are aware and seek out, that's really good. I think, we'll save it for the 17th because there's other people that need to speak. But I would just draw reference to Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Bobby E. Wright, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Neely Fuller, and just in being mindful when we're thinking about, because I've had this issue, which is, we'll signpost you to the NHS. And in working in the NHS and knowing how they have handled our brothers and sisters, it then becomes something like putting our people from the fire to the frying pan, or whichever way. So that's what I would love to speak to you about, probably more in detail come the 17th, my brother. But works is works, and you're being progressive and you're taking action as Motivator and Lady Chelsea are doing themselves. So I give thanks. Let me end there and just, I give thanks for you exist, my brother, and you're a piece to the puzzle, and we have to rise you up as much as we can along with your team. And I'm sure there's probably the Ma'at balance is what Lady Chelsea was talking about. A lot of females in the organization, you can imagine, they are the vanguard. Yes. We must hold them light, Sister Marcia. So rise up, my brother.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And that'd be great. And I look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully on the 17th, and talking more and connecting more. But I appreciate it and appreciate the work that you have done and are doing as well. So thank you.
Brother Nat, thank you very much for your call. And know that I'm aware that you have an initiative there pending. You've got brothers and sisters here who want you to succeed. Okay, this networking will succeed. Losing is not an option. this network will succeed. Okay, so I would encourage you to keep pursuing those initiatives, because we'll get you all back in here and a big show on how we, the African community, are responding to our mental health, because good mental health will promote prosperity and health and general physical health in the community. That's what we've got to do. So you are the antibodies that keep us all healthy. Okay, we've got to nurture you and give you whatever you need to be strong, robust, resistant, determined, successful. Don't worry, we're there.
Just quickly, sorry, I forgot to say, Brother Kelly as well. I'm a mental health first aider as well. I know a female, a black queen mental health first aider trainer as well. So I try and encourage if we can both get down there, as much of the brothers and sisters I know in that field can get down there to the 17th as well. So give thanks, you've got a point for us to look forward to in the 17th of October. That is a very smart move, my brother. Well done.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Sis Marcia, do you have a closing comment? With time is now beginning to go against us.
I'll do a second one because I did it before.
She did do it before.
Okay, all right. Okay, long as I give you the opportunity. I'll give you the opportunity.
Right. But like I said, the 17th, hopefully with the comedy, laughter is one thing that it works for us in the community. So hopefully on the 17th, we'll all have a good time wherein we'll meet ourselves. So we'll be networking, but yet we'll be enjoying ourselves and going home smiling. Give thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I wonder if the two others who are here, before I go back to Lady Chelsea, I wonder if Esther wishes to say anything. You're on mute. You wishes to say anything? If not, you can continue to listen. It's okay. That's okay.
I don't think, unless it's another Esther, I don't think Esther has a question. Esther's my wife, who's just listening to the show today. So.
That's okay. That's okay. You need not have said it. It's okay. It could have been someone just listening. And I've got another person here who's not said anything yet, with number ending 2911. One of you wish to say anything? You're on mute. I had to mute you earlier, but I know you've been on for a while. If not, you can continue to listen. I'm fine with that. And of course, this is going out via Facebook and YouTube. And I'd encourage those who are listening to us via Facebook and YouTube, please just click the like. Better still, press the subscribe, and you'll receive advance notice of future shows that we conduct. So go to YouTube, press the subscribe, and press the like. Okay. I see we've got another caller coming in. As I said, it's just the last few minutes. This is what happens. There you go. So I'll take this caller before I go back to you, Lady Chelsea. Good morning, caller with number ending 8071.
Greetings. Good morning, Mr. Motivator, blessed love. It's Mr. Just Sunray.
Oh, greetings, and I'm honoured. I'm honoured that you called, huh? You have a question for my guest?
What it is, I would like to just rise up your guest and say what a wonderful piece of work he's doing. I'm looking forward to the 17th. I'll talk to you another time about that. As some of you may, your guest, greetings to the guest. I'm a radio show presenter on Galaxy, and I present on the Saturday morning, and I share that space with Sister Shanice. So that's who I am. I'm also a youth and adult mental health first aid trainer. And I didn't get to hear the whole of the show, but I would love to share with all of the listeners that we do have a course, Mr. Motivator, if you don't mind me sharing this, but we have a course on the 7th and the 8th of October, which is a youth mental health first aid course, which is available to the community. It's free, and it's going to be in Peckham, and it's open to people that live and work in Southwark, that works with young people, and young people can attend this course. We also have a couple other courses, stress management courses, and happiness awareness courses. But my primary objective is to get participants to take up on the course. It's free, and we're targeting the Black community, and it's the 7th and the 8th of October. And
what is it called?
It's Youth Mental Health First Aid.
Okay.
Yeah, Youth Mental Health First Aid. Nat was just talking about being a mental health first aid trainer as myself. So I work for freelance for South London and Maudsley, and have done for about over 15 years now. And there is a great need. And like the brother was sharing, your guest was sharing that, need outstretched, availability of courses. However, we have to continue to provide these services so that our people know that they can have good mental health well-being, even if they've been diagnosed with a mental health disorder.
Sister Sunray, one of the outcomes of this show, of course, is that you specialists, and I did fully appreciate what your specialism is, and I didn't appreciate also what a Nat's specialism. So today, I've learned something, so I didn't know. But this is the Motivator show, and of course, we want to promote collaboration. Okay. Now, is there room for collaboration between what you're doing and what Kunle is doing in terms of the empowerment group? Okay. Is there room for collaboration?
Oh, most definitely. And that's why I'm calling. I'm sorry I didn't get to listen to the whole fullness, but I'm really keen to do the collaboration work, because at the end of the day, we do need to find and create culturally appropriate services that address our needs, because the inequalities within mental health, primary mental health services are there for us. That's why we're not accessing those services. That's why we present late, because when we do get there, we are confronted with racism and discrimination, yet still it's the same service we have to go to. So what we need to do is to be able to circumnavigate that in terms of providing intervention that happens before you present at a mental health institution. And we can do that work here now, because the system is making us unwell. And yes, I know that.
Okay, I've got it. Don't worry. I'm just conscious of time. So I'm going to set up a meeting. I'm going to set up a meeting between yourself, Sis Marcia, and Kunle, okay, to discuss this subject, and Brother Nat, discuss that collaboration. So next time you all appear, you appear as a united collaborative force within the African or Black community. Now that, if I may say so, is why I'm here, okay? That's the ambition I have for you all. Am I being too ambitious?
No, you're not.
Too ambitious?
No, you're not. Because this is what it's about, Motivator.
Okay. Let me hear from Brother Kunle. He's been quiet. Go ahead.
I'd love more information on the course. So I don't know if that can be put in the chat. And as you said, collaboration is key. Partnership is key. We'd love to collaborate. Love to support one another. And yeah, let's do this. Amazing.
Let's do it. Make it. Go on.
Motivator, I'm going to leave it there. If people have any inquiries about the course, please contact Mr. Motivator. He will pass on the details. But it's the 7th and the 8th of October, and it's the Youth Mental Health First Aid training course, and it is free, and it's for those that live and work in Southwark. So please, the time is passing, so get in touch with Mr. Motivator. And Mr. Motivator, I'm really keen to do that collaborative working. You got my number, hook me up. Please.
Pleasure. Thank you. Hey, Kunle, you've stimulated things here. Whoa. Long may this continue this way. And we be upbeat. We know that the problems are not overwhelming. We can cope. we can thrive in this environment, yeah? And we can defy those who suffer from Afrophobia, because that's what it is. And that's what we're encountering, Afrophobia. And without a shadow of a doubt, I've no hesitation in saying that there's significant evidence to suggest, as the Macpherson report found, that the police force was and is institutionally racist. That's the London Metropolitan Police Force is institutionally racist. I've got to contend with increasing evidence that before me that there's significant evidence to suggest that the London NHS is institutionally racist. And I'm going by empirical observation. I'll leave it to the expert to do the more detailed theoretical and academic analysis. But I can only tell you, based upon what I can see, these stats are off the roof. Stats you quoted out earlier on, Kunle, were terrifying. I have to tell you, quite terrifying. And under normal circumstances, there will be front page news on all the national newspapers, but it's not there. So whatever we can do, Kunle, to support your organization, we will do it. Okay, and I want to encourage you, we'll talk about the Global African Congress thereafter the show, but the collaborative approach, as you know, is the only way forward, okay? And I hope that for you all in the mental health field, you all understand and can overcome this ego thing, which affects our community often. Ego, well, one person with one organization, they can't do work with the other organization, I believe, because you're in mental health, you understand what it means to have an ego and can overcome, and you can display the social maturity that other organizations I encounter cannot, okay? And thereby forge long-lasting bonds with each other to work together for the greater good, you know? I'm confident, I'm saying that anyway, but I'm confident that's your mantra anyway. Absolutely. I can invite you now, just give your sort of closing words. I know a lot of people have spoken now, excited by what you said, so excite them more so that we can leave on a high. Go on.
I'm excited by everybody who's contributed. Talk about me exciting them. I'm excited about everybody that's contributed. I'm excited about the calls that have come through. I'm excited about the possible collaborations, the possible equal partnerships and support that we can offer one another. And I'm grateful to yourself, the Motivator, to Lady Chelsea and everybody for putting together such a forum and an opportunity for us to speak about matters that matter to us and our community, but more importantly, not just to speak about it, but actually form plans of action so that we can do something about that. So thank you very much for having me on and inviting me to be a part of this. It's been really exciting, and I look forward to what tomorrow holds in that regard.
Thank you. And I should allow you to go without Lady Chelsea giving her sort of passing comment to you as well, because I took a lot.
It's fine. No, I was so like, thank you.
Keep myself on the mat.
No, well, thank you. No, thank you, Kunle, for coming. Like, I think it's my favorite show, and like, I'm very passionate about mental health and learning more, and I've experienced a lot. And you know, it's nice to know that there are places and people like you are pushing forward, like the other callers as well, pushing forward and trying to help. And you've really like excited me as well. So like, thank you for coming. It's been really, really good, and I'm very impressed.
Thank you. And if I may, before you go, can I just ask you to repeat those details of your launch next month and how those who are listening could, if they're quick, obtain tickets? Just repeat those details again, please.
Absolutely. So Sunday, the 17th of October, 3:30 p.m., we are going to be having our launch event, official launch event at Goldsmiths Student Union. Tickets are available. Information is available on our website, theempowermentgroup.co.uk. Don't forget, that's 2 E's, theempowermentgroup.co.uk. And you can find out more information about this event, which is going to involve a great opportunity to network with like-minded people, some comedy, some live acts, poetry, and the like, all in the name of promoting good mental health amongst the Black community. So do come and join us if you can.
Beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. As I said, this has been, to me, also for me, one of the more stimulating experiences and long may they continue. As I said, when we get you all back in the studio and a few others, I'm sure you'll be a collaborative body, a powerful statement from the African Black community. Thank you, Kunle.
Thank you.
Blessings to you. Blessings to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Lady Chelsea, huh?
Hello.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Was that powerful?
No, very.
Oh, wow.
Very.
Oh, wow. So there are lessons for us, and we can stimulate that collaborative working, pooling of resources and talent under a single banner with a common purpose. Oh yeah, and I hope that I can encourage each of the entities to be a part of the Global African Congress, where we concentrate all that talent and therefore look at how we can provide the resources so they can continue to deliver on those key agenda items without being out of pocket. You know, it's an important thing, because it's often there are too many organizations living on a shoestring. You know, we, the community, need to financially resource these organizations, these good people whose sole aim is to promote our good mental and spiritual health. You know, we've got to resource them adequately. And if you can give money to a church or a mosque, you absolutely can give money to an organization devoted to promoting good mental and spiritual health.
That's true.
Huh? Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, so true.
That's true.
But these are lessons for us. But I feel it, that there is change. Change is happening. We're creating that momentum. You can feel the movement occurring around us, you know? I can feel the change, because we are empowering ourselves to effect those changes, you know? Ignore the negative propaganda, you know? Be certain, be confident we can and will succeed, against, even in the face of adversity. They will place us under extreme endurance, you know, put pressure on us, but we will survive, we will thrive, even when we're exposed to undue pressure. That's why we do these shows. I just love your question, Lady Chelsea. Oh my God. I can have questions like that. You know?
Well, I've experienced mental health like a lot, and the bad side of it. So I have a lot of experience.
And we're all grateful for your sharing, and we did enable the conversation to be even, well, you know, honesty. Honesty can be brought in. That's fine. And I would encourage those who are listening, particularly those in the radio, we just want to repeat that this program is available to review on YouTube under the Motivator Show, that DE space the Motivator Show. And you'll see all the past shows of past years are available to review on YouTube. Please, upon review, click like, just so we know you've responded, and better still, press subscribe. And when you subscribe, doesn't mean we send you a lot of information. All it means is that we notify you in advance of what the next show will be. I see there's a call coming in now. I can't take that call.
Yeah, no.
We've only got 2 minutes. What do you think? Should I try and take the call?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I mean, sorry.
You say no?
Maybe if they're quick. Yeah,
okay.
go on. Do it like now.
I think we've got less than 2 minutes. We've got Sister Shanice is following the show. The Solutions Finder. Empress Shanice will be coming on in a moment. Where's the caller? I've got the caller.
8071, is it?
Is it? Yeah.
Greetings.
Yes.
Greetings. It's Sister Shanice. It's Sister Just Done Ray here. Mr. Motivator, I forgot to tell you, on the 6th of October is Lewisham Pensioners Forum's event, and it's open to all the pensioners that live, work, and visit Lewisham, and it's going to be at the Riverlea Ballroom on the 6th of October. And the tickets are £5, and I just wanted to share that with you because I know you are very passionate about your elders.
Indeed.
So please share that, and I will contact you after your show to tell you more about it. That's on the 6th of October, and that's at the Riverlea in Brockley, and that's for pensioners.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I've got less than a minute now. Thank you very much, Sister Chisonde, for that. Okay, hey, this is a bit dynamic.
That was good.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Long may this continue. We will be successful. Yeah, we will be successful. I know, my lady Chelsea, I've got great hopes for you. Your career is going to go way, way up. Oh, yeah.
I hope so.
There's no hope. I'm confident that will happen. You know? We want you young people to grow. We want you to thrive, you know, but expect resistance every step of the way. But don't worry, we're all behind you. We're all supporting you, no matter what. Okay?
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, there you go. Our time is up now. Our time is up. I know they're going to start the
song.
There you go. You can hear it in the background. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye.
Right. Good day. Stay strong and good mental and physical health. Praise God. Rastafari.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.